Hey everybody, it's Andy, aka MaxWriter. Here we are. We made it. 500 subscribers. I put up an announcement video. Wow, I don't know the date. Do you know the date? He knows the date. This is my interviewer. This is me, because I don't have anybody else to interview me, so I'm interviewing myself. Be nice to him. Be kind. I hope he'll be kind to me. He'll be asking the questions. I'll be answering them. I asked for you guys to send me questions at that date that he just said. And you did. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who sent in a little question. And now we're going to do a little question answer. So he's going to ask questions and I shall answer them. Yes, I'll be asking the questions. Thank you. Anyway. Okay, Peter K. asks, what kind of computer do you have? Thanks for the question, Peter. That's the first question that I got. This is the computer right over here. It is a Toshiba Satellite S855. It has an Intel Core processor, 8 gigs of installed memory, 64-bit operating system, and it's a laptop. There we go. Don't know what else to tell you. Michael Deering asks, how did you pick your name? Okay, that's a question I ask everybody who I do my little interviews with, and I'll be getting to you with that soon, Michael. Max_Writer, when I was working for a newspaper for the Bryan Times up in Bryan, Ohio, a long time ago, I didn't know the internet, had no idea about the internet. So when I went onto eBay, this is going to sound really stupid, I went on eBay and I thought, oh, I want to buy something. And when I tried to purchase it or bid on it, all of a sudden it wanted a username, and I had no idea. So I just started trying to figure out who I was, I guess. That sounds really lame. My middle name is Max. I'm named after my grandfather. Well, both grandfathers actually, but my middle name comes from my grandfather on my mother's side, and writer's what I did at the time, so that's how I chose my name, MaxWriter, and started using it then, starting with eBay and working my way across the board to everything, until eventually I was MaxWriter everywhere. Moonwilla92 asks, what is your daily job, and if you don't work now, what was your job? Well, presently I am a caregiver for my parents. My father had a stroke in the summer of 2011. A lot of you probably already know this. If you watched many of my videos, you certainly do. He had a stroke. It was a very huge stroke, massive. They pulled a clot as big as the tip of your little finger out of his carotid artery. Unfortunately, it left the left side of his body debilitated. He continues to make progress and recover. In the meantime, they've needed me to be around whenever I can for whatever they pretty much need, from opening pickle jars to some yard work to just being here. I think my mom's more comfortable with me actually here in the house in case something goes wrong. She also asks, what did you want to be when you were a child? When I was a kid, 4th grade, I had a great teacher named Mrs. Campbell. I was in a 3rd and 4th grade combination class, and she really encouraged writing, and I used to love to write stories. I loved reading stories, especially really scary ones like H.P. Lovecraft, and Stephen King, by the way. When she would encourage us to write these stories, and we'd write them, and she'd put them up on the wall, we could illustrate them, and it was at that time I said, I want to do this for a living. I want to write stories for a living. Peter K. wants to know, what's your favorite song? That's a tough one. Wow. I saw these questions about a month ago, or, when it was, and, but I haven't really thought about them since because I wanted this to feel spontaneous. My favorite song? I don't know if I have one. I'm not a big music person. I like music, but I'm not a person that latches onto a favorite song. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't answer that question. I don't know. I like classical music. I like Mozart. I also like the Beatles. But music's not something that I really focus on. I'm sorry. Piker Eyes asks, favorite candy bar? Well, I think my favorite candy bar is Milky Way. I really like Milky Way, and I really love Milky Way Dark. Yeah, I think that's it. He also wants to know what your least favorite tabletop RPG is. Okay, it's funny you asked that, because I recently discovered my least favorite role-playing game, Aftermath. Played it a couple weeks ago, actually, which makes the timing of all this perfect. It's a great setting. It's a terrible game system. It's so overly complex, overly complicated that I hope I never have to play the game again, or at least not run it. I suppose with a lot of work, it could be made workable, but I just did not like that game. And finally, favorite Doomsday movie. You know, I don't know. I'm not a big apocalypse, end of the world kind of fan. The zombie movies have been overdone, in my opinion, especially World War Z. But anyway, I really liked Beyond Thunderdome, to be quite honest. If that's the one that jumps to mind. The Mad Max movie, I think it was the third Mad Max movie. In the end, the children escaped and formed this tribe, and there was storytelling, and it felt like the beginning of something. When I was a kid, I would have said any of the Planet of the Apes movies, but and I'm talking the 70s ones, the really dark, dreary, end of the world, awful future kind of ones. But yeah, I think I like that one best for its message of potential hope in the future. Optimus1971 asks, share some stories of your theater days. Okay, I think I know what Optimus is referring to. We did Heaven Can Wait, and I was Tony, and he was Max, Max was the guy who was the actual in charge. What the heck was he? He was the trainer, the manager for Pendleton. And at one point, one of the actors came out to talk to us, and his fly was open, and his shirt tail was pulled right through the fly. This was on stage during a performance. And I remember I power frowned. We used to call it power frowning. When you want to laugh on stage, but you can't, because I was supposed to be very serious and very uptight. And I remember power frowning and then noting to the actor that his fly was undone. I don't know if it was on purpose just to throw me or not. I've done a lot of plays. I've done plays since college. I did a lot of community theater. I did community theater up in Ohio. That's the one that stands out when I think of Optimus 1971, because he was standing right there next to me. And if I remember correctly, he later told me that he about lost it, but then he saw I was holding it together, and it helped him hold it together, which is kind of cool. It makes me feel like I helped. Caitlin Blackman asks, what is your favorite dessert? This is kind of a toss-up because I discovered something lately. If you take a 13 by 9 cake pan, and you line the bottom with chocolate chips, like a bag of chocolate chips and a bag of dark chocolate chips. I mean, a whole bag of each. Okay, line them. And then you bake a yellow cake. You pour the cake mix in on top of that. Okay, you follow me so far? And then of course you have to eat some of the raw cake mix because it's so good. And then bake the whole thing. I usually put foil over it right after it's done baking to kind of hold the moisture in. And then chocolate, a good amount, maybe even 2 packages of chocolate icing on top of that. It makes the most amazing, richest, delicious cake I think I've ever had. That's the first thing that jumped to my mind when you said dessert. And I also like chocolate dream pies with the dream whip that you mix with the pudding, and then you put it into a graham cracker crust. Oh, but my mom has my grandma's recipe for cherry cheesecake, which is a homemade graham cracker crust. It's really good. And then the cheesecake mix, and then cherry on top of that, or any kind of berry. Okay, yeah, those are all good. I like all those. She also wants to know, what about breakfast? Okay, my favorite breakfast is definitely eggs. You gotta have eggs, you gotta have bacon, toast. Sausage works too, sausage links. I like scrambled eggs or over easy, and I make what I call smashed potatoes. My friend Cindy, my ex-girlfriend from way back, actually taught me how to make these, and I kind of refined the recipe. You boil potatoes. Once they're boiled, you chop them up. Then you fry them with some butter. You also throw in towards the end, not right at the beginning, at the start of frying, because it'll just turn them black. You also throw in onions. You put a good amount of paprika on that. That's a good side dish. Oh, it's so good. And orange juice, of course. Gary Boyd wants to know, what made you want to start YouTube? That's really, really, really a good question. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to YouTube until I started watching Good Boulderfist and BOO. They played Legendary, I believe. It was an adventure map for Minecraft. And that got me kind of watching more Minecraft. And I thought, I can do this. This could be fun to do. And then my friend, Optimus1971, lent me his Minecraft account for a couple hours. He's like, you just need to try this game. And I played it on a really terrible computer. My last computer before this one over here was awful. And I called him back up afterwards because I think I was living in North Carolina by then. He was, yeah, I definitely was, because it was after I moved back. Anyway, I call him back and I say, you don't have to lend me your account anymore because I'm buying my own account. Good salesman there, Mojang. Hire that guy. So anyway, yeah. And once I started playing, again, I was on too bad of a computer to really record, but I just wanted to record. I was still watching a lot of people, a lot of BOO, Good, Etho, Pause, all the Minecrackers. Just thought they were so much fun. And the game just looked like a blast. Well, I mean, it was a blast. I was playing. I was having a great time. And then some stuff started happening on the Foobar Boss server. There was this night where we were hanging out, and Scody Arbitas, I'm falling back into my old habits. Scody Arbitas, he got some TNT to blow up this ugly lighthouse that he built, and it was hilarious. And Gopher Boy was on, and Kraken Wise, and I was thinking, this needs to be recorded. We need to have a record of this. It's hilarious. I was just laughing a lot, and it made me realize I want to record Minecraft. So when we switched over, when that server started having lots of issues and died, I got my Minecraft computer over here and started to record. I was like, screw it, I'm gonna record. It'll be, and you should go back, watch episode 1. Wow, it's awful. I hadn't gotten any kind of commentary voice. I feel like I'm a decent commentator now. I'm not like as good as a lot of people, but I'm good enough. But it was it's not great. Or some of the early Minecraft Hardcore Challenge, watch some of the early ones. But yeah, there you go. Sorry, long answer for a short question. The Puka says, here's a geeky question for you. Do you like critical botches more than natural 20s? Yes, I like critical misses, and he's talking tabletop RPGs. I like them more than critical hits in many cases. I used to have... I still have it. I'll show it to you in a moment. I had a die. I called it the death die. Actually, we'll throw a picture up. There you go. That's the death die. That was my D20 I used for playing Dungeons & Dragons back in the day. Where are we at time-wise? 2 o'clock already. Okay, we're good. That was the die I used to play D&D with. That was I didn't name it. It was named by my players. It would roll so many natural 1s and natural 20s, it was not even funny. I had some massively nasty critical hit and critical miss charts that I got from an old Dragon magazine. They were amazing. Arms chopped off, legs chopped off, heads cut off, ears removed, noses removed, eyes gouged out, everything. It was just great. I continued using that when I switched over to 3.5 from AD&D, which was what I originally played. And on a critical, you would also roll on these charts. You would get the double damage or whatever a normal critical would give you. Plus, you would also get whatever is on this chart. And then for a critical miss, weapons could end up broken. You drop your weapon, you can knock yourself out or stun yourself. Great stuff. Loved them all. But yeah, I think I liked botches better. He also says, if YouTube paid just enough to support itself as a hobby, what would you buy? Okay, that one is easy. I would buy a really nice desktop computer that I could play Minecraft on, that would record really well, that would allow me to live stream really well, that would allow me to do like the little picture-in-picture thing for live streaming. And for regular Minecraft, I would buy a nice editor, a really good editor, so that I could do that. I mean, I'd probably still use Windows Media Player just for simple stuff, but I would love to do some face cam stuff, but I just don't think I have the ability with this machine. It's a good machine, but it is, excuse my itch, because I got hair all over my face, sorry. It's a good machine, and I'm enjoying it, and it allows me to play and record, and the videos look pretty good, but, sorry, I would get something, sorry about the hair, yeah, sorry. I would get something cutting edge that I'd be able to play and record, and I would have minimum of 60 to 120 frames per second, something really solid, so I could go play Feed the Beast and try that out, and Madpack, and play Aftermath without having to worry about lag and all that stuff. Scotty Garbitas has several questions. What is your favorite season? I like spring, actually. I like it when it is still cold at night, but warm during the day, but before the bugs really start coming out. I think that's my favorite time. What is your favorite song? I don't know. I answered that one before. Peter K asked that, and I don't know. I like so much different music, but I don't like a lot of music. Does that make sense? I like music, but I'm not like, oh, music's my life. So I'm really not sure. Probably a show tune. What would be your dream job? Okay, my dream job, and if we're not talking real job, we'll talk real jobs first. My dream job would be probably working for a game company. Writing, playtesting, playing out role-playing games, running booths at various conventions, doing playtests of that kind of thing. If we're talking like total fantasy, yeah, I'd like to be the Doctor. That'd be my dream job right there. What country would you like to visit that you haven't already? I haven't been out of the country. I've never even been out of the United States except for the Caribbean, and we own that anyway, so it doesn't really count. I would love to go to Australia. I would love to go to England. I would love to go to Ireland. I know people in Australia and England that I really, really want to visit, so probably one of those two, or if not both. Favorite adult beverage? Definitely Samuel Smith's Organic Chocolate Stout. That is a chocolate beer. It is delicious. It's got a very good, solid chocolate taste with a nice stout behind it. Definitely my favorite. Who is your favorite Gopher Crafter besides yourself? My favorite Gopher Crafters have got to be, in no particular order, Paisley Playfully, Sayu Lily, Steele Douglas, Optimus 1971. But of course, one of my most favorites, and who I don't get to play with enough anymore, and I miss so much, Scotty Garbitas. Where are you, man? Where are you? Can I interview you for your interview series? Yes, you can. We'll figure out a time and set it up. Bye. Can I have a hug? Yeah, of course, anytime, man. Minecraft hug, real hug. But they're all going to be platonic. How many dogs have you had in your life? That's a good one. We had Gruffy when I lived in Ohio, in Ada, Ohio. I don't remember him at all. He died. I don't know how he died, but he died when I was tiny, I think. I think I was born when they still had him. Then they got Duffy. I remember Duffy a little bit. Duffy could climb fences, could escape any place that he was in, and unfortunately, he was very fertile and horny all the time. So he was always like most of the dogs in our part of Ada ended up with Duffy's puppies, and he got poisoned eventually, which sucks. But I was pretty little, and I don't remember that terribly clearly. Then we had Stubby, and she was a real good dog. She replaced Duffy. My grandma gave her to us. She was a runt, real pretty, long hair, very temperamental though. Did not like people. Yeah, pretty much. My brother then got Shadow, she was an Airedale Black Lab mix, so she had a little Fu Manchu beard. She was a great dog. She was more my dad's dog than my brother's dog, though. Next was Scrappy. They got her after Shadow had been diagnosed with cancer and was dying. And they got Scrappy only a few weeks before Shadow went. I remember my mom didn't think I liked Scrappy because I didn't pay any attention to her. When I would come home from college, I wouldn't pay any attention to Scrappy because all my attention was going to Shadow, who was dying at the time. And I just wanted her to know that I loved her and that she was still super important. She was a good dog. So my folks had Scrappy for a long time after that. I lived in Greensboro for a while, and there was, let's see, Jasmine, who I had for about a month in an apartment that I found her tied up outside of the shelter when I was driving to High Point to be in a play. So I put her in my car and I held on to her, and then I took her to the shelter, left my name and address, and said, if you cannot adopt this dog out, do not destroy her. I will find a place for her if I don't take her. And then there was Rex, who I found at UNCG. When we were a bunch of us were hanging out one night, and he came over and he's like, hey, how's it going? So we hung out with him for a while, and I got in my car to leave, and he starts chasing the car. And he probably would have chased me till I was out of sight. What are you going to do? So I kept him for about a week. No, maybe just over a weekend. It was only a few days. And then I took him to the shelter, and I again left my name and all my information and said, if this dog is not adopted, you contact me and I will take him. And he was adopted. He was a great dog, too. So those two were kind of little quickie tempos. And then I moved up to Ohio, and I got my dog Bailey. I've had her for some time. I love her very much. And my folks have have MJ, and we have her here right now where I live now. So there you go. That's all of them. Santa93 would like to know, do you travel? And if so, where have you traveled or want to travel? You know, I don't. I don't like to travel a lot, but that's mainly because all of my travel is via car. And I have to drive there. I live in North Carolina. I've lived in Ohio. I've traveled back and forth in between. I've been up to New York City. I have been to, I think that's as far northeast as I've gone. Been down to Florida. My grandparents used to live in Florida. We used to spend Christmas down there. Where else? Wow. And I went on a cruise for my honeymoon to the Caribbean. And that's it. That's all the travel I've really ever done. I've never been to Canada, never been to Mexico, never been overseas, never been to South America. Yeah. I'd like to. I would like to do some traveling. I'd like to go some places. He also would like to know what favorite computer game of all time. Duh, Minecraft. Although I really like Silent Hill. I really liked Grand Theft Auto too. All good games. And finally, he'd like to know what games you look forward to playing. I don't know. I'm pretty much a Minecraft guy. I don't have a computer that really plays video games very well. So if I get one, I might actually become that guy. Psycho SFK wants to know, what is your most favorite thing about Minecraft? I like the sandbox aspect. I think the sandbox aspect of Minecraft is excellent. Being able to go anywhere and do anything. That's what I used to love about Grand Theft Auto, which I just answered. You didn't have to do the missions. You could just drive around town and listen to the radio. You weren't... With Minecraft, it's even more than that, because you can literally do anything. If you can think of how to do something, you can do it. If you can figure out how to work redstone a certain way, it will work. Yeah, and that's definitely it. Tiger Galaxy asks, did you know someone who was called Mr. Count Rex? Yes, I did. He also would like to know, did you ever want to play Minecraft with him if you knew him? I never had a real chance to play with Mr. Count Rex. I never got to know him very well, but sure, I would play with him. And finally he says, okay, I can't lie, I'm Rex, I made a new account. Ha ha ha. Oh, well, that's good to know, Mr. Count Rex, aka Tiger Galaxy. Nathan Pelton asks, he has several questions actually. What is your favorite build of all time? Okay, to date, it is the compound that I had on the In the World server. There was my house. I loved that little house. Nice storage area underneath. Secret area under that. Alchemist house / enchanting house. I loved how that looked. It just felt right. Had a really neat forge, like blacksmith shop. I thought that was kind of cool. There was a really nice windmill. I really enjoyed that. That was on one side. I even had a little house. I had a kennel and a cat kennel. I just really liked that overall. What is your favorite build on the GopherCraft server? I'm going to have to say to date, it's the farmhouse at the sheep farm. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, it's a good build. I like it. If you could have anything added to Minecraft, what would it be? That's a good question. I was about to say, what would I? But you know what? Bam, it hit me right away. Being able to put different kinds of half slabs on top of each other in any combination. You know what I mean? Like, right now you can't put, what do they call it? You can't put a half slab and then a different color half slab inverted on top of that. And I think it would really be cool if you could, because then you could put like windowsills under your glass windows and up above them. And I think it would really be neat. Have you ever considered creating a Patreon account? No, I really haven't considered that because I don't want to actually pay to watch people's videos. Except, you know, I'll watch a commercial as long as it's less than a minute or so. But I also don't want people to have to pay, and I'm really afraid of what I'll find out about who's willing to actually pay to watch my videos. Do you have a Facebook fan page? I do not. I don't yet, but you know what? It's an idea. Maybe I should. On a scale of 1 to super cute, how cute is Bailey? Okay, on that scale, it's going to be super cute, but super cute is here, and she's way up here. So that's just as close as I can get. And what is your favorite block in Minecraft? I don't know. I like diamond blocks just because what they represent, which is wealth and power. But I also, I don't know, that's a tough one. I like building with some of the mossy stone brick, and I like stone brick a lot too. I don't know. I don't think I really have a favorite person. Lapis. Yeah, it's lapis. Sorry.